Hello, my dear one. I want you to listen to these words every day, like you would listen to a gentle song that reminds you who you really are. You don't have to be perfect to sit here with me. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't even have to feel positive right now. You are allowed to arrive exactly as you are, tired, hopeful, confused, grateful, all at once. Take a slow breath with me, in and out. Again, just a little softer. You see, so many of us were taught that we must hold the whole world on our shoulders in order to deserve a little love, a little money, a little peace. We learn to tense our jaw, to tighten our chest, to rehearse every worst-case scenario as if anxiety itself could keep us safe. And yet the truth is much softer than that. You don't have to carry the whole world to be worthy of a beautiful life. You are not a machine that only earns rest after collapsing. You are a living, breathing expression of life, and life is not asking you to prove your value every second. Life is inviting you to collaborate. Your job is to show up with love. Life's job is to arrange the rest. When you really let that idea in, even just a little, something in your body loosens. Your shoulders can drop a bit. Your breath can deepen. Your mind doesn't have to run quite so fast. So very gently, almost like a lullaby, let's plant this thought together. Life supports me when I relax and trust. And again with a little more feeling. Life supports me when I relax and trust. And one last time, as if you were talking to the deepest part of you. Life supports me when I relax and trust. You don't have to force yourself to believe it. Just be willing to consider it. Willingness is enough to open the door. Now let me share the first little code for your daily vibration. I like to call it being a kind garbage collector, and I say that with so much respect and tenderness. Imagine someone whose job is to pick up the trash in a neighborhood. It's not glamorous. No one stands on the street and applauds. But if they do it with care, with presence, with pride, the entire place is cleaner, lighter, more beautiful. Every single one of us has small tasks like that in our day. Answering an email, making a simple meal, tidying a corner of the room, showing up on time for a call. And very often the mind says, this doesn't matter, this is boring, this is beneath me. I'll do it half-heartedly and rush to something more important. But listen to me, my love. There is no such thing as a small act when it is done with your whole heart. When you are folding laundry with resentment, you are actually practicing resentment. When you answer a message with presence and kindness, you are practicing presence and kindness. Every repetition is a seed, and what you repeat becomes your field. So if today your work does not look impressive on the outside, do not despise it. Don't look down on yourself because the world does not clap for what you are doing. Instead, try asking, what would it feel like to bring excellence to this tiny moment? How would I sit? How would I breathe? How would I move my hands if I were honoring myself right now? Excellence is not about being praised. Excellence is how you treat your own soul while you are doing the task. When you begin to live this way, washing a dish with care, speaking a simple thank you with sincerity, showing up on time because you respect your own word, you are sending a very clear message to the universe. I am ready to be trusted with more because I honor what is here now. You don't need to scream this message. You don't need to post about it. You simply live it. Day after day, small act after small act, like a kind garbage collector who knows that this street will shine a little more because they pass through. Every small action is a vote for the person you are becoming. And every time you cast that vote with love, the world around you quietly rearranges itself to meet you at that level. Now, our second code for your daily vibration is this: stop using judgment as your language with others and especially with yourself. I want you to really hear this. When you constantly judge, your energy tightens, your heart closes a little, your body prepares for battle, and it is very hard to receive good when you are standing in a battlefield inside your own mind. Many of us grew up in homes where criticism was normal, from parents, teachers, even from religious or cultural messages. We learned to think, if I attack myself first, maybe no one else will hurt me. So we carry this harsh voice inside that says, you're behind, you're not enough, you should be better by now. And then we do the same with others in our thoughts. They're wrong, they're selfish, they don't deserve it. It's not that you are a bad person. You have simply been trained to use judgment as a way of feeling in control. But you and I know it doesn't bring peace. It doesn't bring softness. It doesn't bring the life you really want. Judgment shrinks your world. Compassion opens it back up again. So today, instead of trying to never judge again, which would just be another way to criticize yourself, I want you to practice noticing. Just noticing. You catch a thought like, I'm so stupid. Why did I do that? And instead of agreeing, you pause. You might say quietly, oh, that's my old critical voice. I don't have to believe you today. You see someone making a choice you don't understand, and the mind rushes to say, how ridiculous. Instead, you soften it. I don't know their whole story. I can choose to wish them well. You don't have to pretend harmful behavior is okay. You can still set boundaries. You can still say no. But you do it from a place that says, I am worthy of respect, not from a place that screams, no one is good enough. There is such a difference. One brings strength. The other brings exhaustion. And for you, my dear, I want strength. I want spaciousness. I want you to feel that you are allowed to be human and still be loved. So let's bring this home to you. When you make a mistake, and you will, because you are beautifully human, what if your first response was curiosity instead of cruelty? What was I feeling? What was I trying to protect? What can I learn? You are not here to perform perfection. You are here to practice being kind to yourself. That is the real spiritual work. That is the vibration that quietly tells life, I am ready for gentle miracles. So I will ask you the question I love so much. What if you could be kind to yourself today? Not forever, not for the next 10 years, just today, just in this one situation. How would you speak to yourself if you believed you were doing the best you could with the awareness you had? What would you stop saying to yourself if you truly knew you were worthy of a fresh start? Let the answers rise slowly. You don't need to force them. Remember, your mind is a beautiful tool, but you are the one who decides how it speaks to you. The more you choose thoughts that soften your body, that open your chest, that ease your jaw, the more your whole vibration changes. And when your vibration changes, life has no choice but to reflect that back to you in people, in opportunities, in moments of unexpected grace. The universe listens most closely to the way you treat yourself in the quiet. Now, my dear, let's talk about your words, because your words are not just sounds in the air. They are little messengers you keep sending out into the universe with instructions. I want you to imagine that every sentence you speak is like a tiny letter you mail to life, and life always sends something back in the same tone. When you complain, you are not just venting. You are quietly telling life, this is my level. This is what I expect. When you bless, you are quietly declaring, this is my standard. This is the frequency I live in. Your mouth is not just a place where you let off steam. It is a doorway where energy goes out and energy comes in. Many of us grew up surrounded by complaint about money, about work, about the government, about the weather, about the neighbors. Nobody meant to hurt us with it. They were doing the best they could with their own fears. But now you are the guardian of your energy, and that means you get to choose a new language. Not a fake, forced, positive thinking language that denies your feelings, but a softer, wiser language that says, I see what is difficult, and I am still choosing to send out something healing. Blessing is not pretending everything is perfect. Blessing is deciding that even here, even now, love is allowed to speak. Think for a moment about the last time you spent 15 minutes complaining. Maybe about money, or a person, or your own body. How did your chest feel after? How did your shoulders feel? How did your energy feel? Usually there is a heaviness, a sense of being stuck, like standing in a room with no fresh air. That is not a punishment. It is simply feedback. Life is saying, darling, the thoughts you are rehearsing are tightening your own heart. Now imagine spending those same 15 minutes blessing your body for carrying you, blessing your home for sheltering you, blessing your work for teaching you, blessing even your difficulties for stretching you. You will notice the body responds differently. The breath deepens, the jaw softens, the mind opens. This is why I say so often, what you send out comes back to you multiplied. It is not a moral law, it is simply how energy behaves. If you send out harshness all day long, your nervous system stays in a state of threat. If you send out kindness, your nervous system begins to live in safety. And when your nervous system feels safe, you can receive. You can see opportunities. You can take gentle risks. You can hear your intuition. Let's take something very practical and very ordinary. A bill. Most people look at a bill and tighten immediately. Ugh, another bill. Why so expensive? Life is so unfair. The shoulders go up, the stomach clenches. The mind starts creating stories of lack and doom. But take a breath with me and look again. That electric bill means you had light in your home, warmth or cool air, music, hot showers. That internet bill means you were able to learn, to work, to connect, to be here listening to these words. The rent or mortgage means you had a place to rest your head at night. So I want to offer you a very gentle shift. Instead of cursing the bill, bless it. You might say quietly, thank you, electricity, for serving my life. Thank you, money, for flowing in and out. I bless this bill because it proves I am alive and connected. You see how different that feels? One story says, I am being squeezed. I am a victim. The other says, I am circulating energy. I am participating. When you bless your bills, you tell life, I can be trusted with more because I honor what is here. The numbers may be the same, but the frequency is very different, and the universe always responds to frequency. Now let's look at something even more tender. The people who bother you, the ones you secretly call difficult or competitors. Perhaps there is someone who seems to have what you want, and your first reaction is jealousy or bitterness. Perhaps there is someone who criticizes you, and your first reaction is to attack them in your mind. Again, this is human. There is nothing wrong with you. But if you stay there, you keep yourself trapped in a small, tight world. So instead, we use blessing as a way to free both of you. When you see someone succeed and the old voice says, "Why them and not me?" you can gently add a new sentence. May they use their blessings well. May there be enough for both of us. When someone triggers you, you can say in your heart, "I don't have to like your behavior, but I bless you to find your own healing path." That does not mean you keep them close if they are harmful. It does not mean you let them disrespect you. Boundaries still matter, but the energy you send out is no longer poisoned. Blessing someone does not mean you invite them back into your life. It means you stop inviting them back into your nervous system. You release yourself from the endless inner argument. You step out of the courtroom and back into your own garden. I would love to give you a little moment we can do together, as if we were standing in your living room right now, blessing everything around you. Sit comfortably if you can. Let your shoulders drop. Allow one deeper breath, and then slowly, as if you were speaking to a dear friend, you can say with me, "Today I bless my life. I bless my home. I bless my work. I bless the people who help me grow." Let the words be soft, not forced. You don't have to feel fireworks. Just notice if any part of your body responds. A slight warmth in the chest, a loosening around the eyes, a little sigh. That is your system saying, "Oh, this is different. This is kinder." You can add more if you like. I bless my past for teaching me. I bless my future for surprising me. I bless this present moment as the doorway to everything good. If you make this a tiny habit, 30 seconds in the morning, 30 seconds at night, you will be amazed at how your daily vibration begins to shift. Not because you forced yourself to be positive, but because you steadily chose to send out kindness instead of poison. Now you might ask, but what about when things are really hard? Am I just supposed to bless everything and say it's okay? No, my dear. Blessing is not denying injustice or pretending hurtful behavior is acceptable. If something is abusive, you remove yourself as best you can. You seek help. You protect your heart and body. You can say a very clear no and still choose not to fill your inner world with hatred. You can hold a boundary on the outside and hold a blessing on the inside. You might say, "I bless myself with safety. I bless myself with clarity. I bless myself with the courage to walk away." And from a distance, when you are no longer in harm's way, you may even bless the other person to learn, to grow, to never hurt another the way they hurt you. That is not for them really. It is for your own freedom. The more you practice this, the less you will feel like a victim of every situation. Your words become your shelter instead of your prison. The sentences you repeat become a soft floor you can stand on when the world feels shaky. I often say, thoughts are only words strung together. You are the one who decides what they mean. The same is true of your spoken words. Every time you say, "I hate this, I hate that, my life is a mess," you are strengthening a certain kind of meaning. You are watering a very particular garden. And every time you say, "I am learning from this, I bless this step, I am open to better," you are watering a completely different garden. You may not see the flowers yet, but the roots are growing. And I want you to remember something very important. You don't have to speak perfectly to create a beautiful life. You only have to speak a little more kindly, a little more often. When you catch yourself complaining, you don't need to scold yourself. You can simply smile and say, "Ah, there's that old pattern. Now I choose a new sentence." This is gentle power. You're not fighting the old, you are feeding the new. Little by little, the old starves, and the new becomes your natural language. So as you go through your day, you might play with this idea. Every time you notice your mouth opening, ask, am I sending out lack or abundance? Am I cursing my path or blessing my path? You don't need to be afraid of every casual word, but you can become more conscious, more deliberate. When you're about to say, "This is so hard, I can't stand it," you might adjust it to, "This is challenging, and I am learning to move through it." When you want to say, "Nothing ever works out for me," you might soften it into, "I've had some hard experiences, and I am now open to things working out better." These are not lies, they are bridges. They carry you from despair to possibility without pretending you're already in paradise. And over time, those bridges become solid ground. When you bless what you have, you quietly invite more of what you truly desire. If all of this feels like a lot, remember, you don't have to change every sentence today. Start with one area. Maybe today you choose to bless your work instead of cursing it. Tomorrow you choose to bless your body instead of attacking it. The next day, you bless your mornings instead of dreading them. Little by little, word by word, you are tuning your life like an instrument, and each blessing is like a gentle note that tells the universe, "Here I am. I am willing to cooperate with good." You will still have human moments. You will still get tired, frustrated, annoyed. That's all right. You are not here to be perfect. You are here to wake up to your own power, one conscious word at a time. And I am so proud of you for even listening to this, for even considering that your voice could become a channel of grace instead of a channel of fear. In the quiet of your day, when no one is watching, you can sit for just a few seconds and whisper, "Today, I choose to bless more than I complain." That is enough to begin. So from here, I want us to take everything we've been talking about and turn it into a partnership, a quiet, powerful partnership between you and life itself. I would love for you to stop seeing yourself as a little person begging the universe to notice you, and begin to see yourself as a conscious co-creator, sitting at the same table with life, bringing your heart, your ideas, your hands, while life brings timing, connections, and miracles you could never have organized on your own. When I talk about letting the universe work for you, I don't mean you lie on the couch and wait for someone to knock on the door with a perfect life in a box. I mean you learn how to do your part with clarity and love, and then you stop trying to do life's part as well. There is such exhaustion in always thinking, I must control everything, everyone, every outcome. There is such relief in saying, I will take care of my side of this, and I will trust that a greater wisdom is taking care of the rest. That is what I call effortless ease, not laziness, but aligned effort followed by genuine trust. Let's begin with the first part of this partnership, intention. Intention is not a desperate wish. It is a clear, kind decision about the direction of your energy. A wish says, maybe if I'm lucky, if I'm good enough, something might happen someday. A true intention says, this is what I choose to move toward in thought, in feeling, and in action. I want you to notice the posture of your body as you hear those words. A wish often feels like collapsing, like reaching up with empty hands. An intention feels like standing, like placing your feet on the ground and saying quietly, "Yes, this way." When you set an intention, you are not promising to control every detail. You are simply choosing the tone of your day, the quality of your presence, the kind of person you are becoming. You might say in your heart, "Today I choose to be open to supportive opportunities." Or, "Today I choose to bring gentleness into my work." Or, "Today I choose to treat myself with respect." Notice these are not just about results. They are about who you are as you walk toward those results. The universe responds to who you are being, long before it responds to what you are demanding. The second part is where so many people become confused: taking action. Some of you have tried to manifest by sitting still and trying to think perfectly all day. And then you tell yourself you have failed because nothing changed. My dear, thoughts are powerful, but this is a physical world. Your body, your voice, your choices matter. When you decide on an intention, ask yourself, what is one small action that matches this intention? Not a huge, overwhelming project, one small, honest step. If your intention is to welcome more abundance, your step might be to send one email, learn one new skill, tidy one corner of your home to make room for new energy. If your intention is to heal your body, your step might be to drink more water today, to rest 10 minutes earlier, to speak to your body with kindness instead of criticism. If your intention is to attract loving relationships, your step might be to answer one message with honesty, or to say a gentle no where you used to say yes from fear. Action does not need to be dramatic, it needs to be aligned. And aligned means this: the step and the intention are walking in the same direction, hand in hand. I want you to notice something very important: the quality of the energy you bring to your actions. Many people take action from panic. If I don't do everything right now perfectly, I'll lose my chance. That is not cooperation with life. That is trying to be God, and it is exhausting. When you act from panic, you are sending out the message: there is not enough, I am not supported, I am alone. When you act from calm intention, you are sending out, I am willing, I am available, I am part of this dance. The very same action, writing a job application, having a conversation, starting a project, feels completely different when it comes from inner pressure versus inner clarity. So as you move through your day, you can gently ask, am I pushing from fear or am I stepping from love? If you notice you are pushing, you do not need to criticize yourself. You can pause, breathe, put a hand over your heart and say, let me soften first. I choose to do this from a kinder place. And then you act. This is how you begin to experience effort that has ease inside it, like a river that flows with strength, not like a person trying to push the entire riverbed up a hill. Now, the third part of this partnership is the one that is often the hardest: letting go and trusting the timing. This is where many beautiful souls get stuck, not because they are lazy, but because they are impatient and frightened. They say, I set my intention, I took action, and now I must watch the seed every second to make sure it grows. They dig it up, check the roots, worry, compare their garden to everyone else's, say, why isn't it happening yet? And then declare that nothing works for them. You would not treat a tomato seed like that, would you? You would not plant it and then yell at the soil every hour. You know the seed needs time, darkness, and conditions you cannot fully see. It is the same with your intentions. Your job is to plant clearly and water consistently. Life's job is to decide how and when that seed bursts through the soil. You may think the right opportunity should come from one direction, and instead it arrives from somewhere you never imagined. You may think it needs to come tomorrow morning, and instead it arrives in 3 months, when you are stronger, clearer, more ready to hold it. Trusting does not mean doing nothing. Trusting means you keep showing up for your part, tending your garden, weeding your thoughts, blessing your path, without grabbing the steering wheel out of life's hands every 5 minutes. You might say, but I'm afraid that if I don't worry about it, nothing will happen. I want you to hear how tired that belief is. It tells you that your anxiety is the engine of the universe, and that has never been true. Worry does not make you more responsible. It just makes you more exhausted. Responsibility says, I will do what I can from a clear heart. Control says, if I stop thinking about this, everything will fall apart. There is such freedom in letting that control go. Not recklessly, not carelessly, but consciously. You can say, I have done my part today. I have taken my step. Now I am willing to rest my mind and let life weave the threads I cannot see. I know there is a part of you that struggles to relax into this. Perhaps you were taught that if you're not constantly striving, something bad will happen. Perhaps you grew up in chaos, so your nervous system believes that hypervigilance is the safest way to live. I want to be very gentle with that part of you. Of course, it is hard to trust. Of course, it feels like a risk to put down the burden of constant mental control. So we do this slowly, lovingly. You don't need to trust every area of your life all at once. You can begin with one situation. Maybe you say, in this one relationship, I will speak my truth, and then let the other person respond without trying to script them in my head. Or, in this one project, I will do my work today, and then allow myself an evening of peace instead of checking my email every 5 minutes. Or, today, I will take one brave step toward my dream, and then stop rehearsing 1,000 worst-case scenarios in my mind. In this way, you train your body to discover that safety can exist even when you are not on duty every second. Think of it like dancing with a very loving partner. If you insist on leading every step, counting every beat, correcting every movement, the dance becomes stiff and joyless. If you refuse to move at all and expect to be carried, the dance never really begins. But when you allow a give and take, you move, life moves. You listen, life responds. Something beautiful emerges that neither of you could have choreographed alone. Your intentions become invitations. Your actions become conversations. Your trust becomes the music that keeps the dance flowing. And over time, as you look back, you will see how certain delays were really protections, how certain rejections were redirections, how certain quiet seasons were the very times your roots were growing strong beneath the surface. So I would like you to feel into this simple 3-part code: clear intention, wholehearted action, gentle trust. Whenever you feel yourself spinning, you can come back to it. Ask, have I been clear about what I choose? If not, you pause and clarify. Ask, have I taken one aligned step? If not, you choose a small, loving action. Ask, am I now willing to release the timing and the exact form to life? If not, you breathe and practice loosening your grip. This is not a test you can fail. It is a relationship you are learning to enjoy. Some days you will feel more trusting. Other days you will feel more anxious. That is all right. On the anxious days, you do not punish yourself. You simply remind yourself, I am learning a new way to live. Life is not demanding perfection from you. Life is inviting participation. And because this is a partnership, I want to leave you with a sentence you can use whenever you feel yourself trying to do both jobs at once. You can place your hand on your heart, breathe softly and say, I do my part, and life does the rest. I do my part, and life does the rest. I do my part, and life does the rest. Let it be a soft rhythm in your chest, not a command, not a spell, just a gentle reminder that you are not alone in this work of living. You are not the only intelligence at the table. You are not responsible for holding up the entire sky. You show up, you choose, you act, you bless, and then you allow. When you live this way, you will find that doors open more easily, people arrive at just the right moment, and solutions you never could have figured out begin to appear. Not because you forced them, but because you finally made room for them. Have you noticed how easy it is to forget the little good things when just one big thing feels wrong? So many beautiful souls come to me and say, Louise, I'll be grateful when I have more money, when I lose the weight, when they treat me better, when my life finally looks the way I want. And I always smile gently, because I know that if we wait for life to be perfect before we feel thankful, we will be waiting a very long time. My darling, I want you to understand something very simple and very powerful. Gratitude is not a reward you give life when it behaves. Gratitude is a way you breathe with life while it is still unfinished. On the days that feel heavy, on the mornings when your heart aches, gratitude doesn't mean pretending everything is wonderful. It means whispering, something in me is still alive. Something in me is still willing to see a little light. You don't have to force yourself to be happy about the big problems. You can begin by noticing a tiny patch of blue sky in the middle of the storm, a cup of warm tea, a soft pillow, the fact that even with all of this, your heart is still beating. We have been so trained to think that gratitude must be grand and impressive. We think we must write a long list, or feel fireworks in our chest, or transform our whole mood in 5 minutes. But that is not how gentle healing works. Healing often begins in very small, quiet ways. Gratitude can be as simple as recognizing, right now I have air to breathe. I have a body that carries me. I have one person somewhere in the world who has been kind to me. You may say, but Louise, some days I cannot even feel that. And I will say to you, of course. There are days grief sits on your chest. There are days disappointment whispers in your ear. On those days, gratitude does not need to be a big, bright feeling. It can be a tiny willingness. It can be the smallest opening. What if gratitude for you today simply meant you are willing to notice one thing that is not wrong? Let's talk about why this matters so much for your vibration, for the energy you send out into the universe. Life does not respond only to your words. Life responds to the atmosphere you live in inside yourself. When you are constantly rehearsing everything that is missing, everything that went wrong, everything that might fail, you are creating an inner climate of scarcity and fear. You may not realize it, but you are telling life, I am surrounded by lack. I am surrounded by problems. This is what I expect. And because what you put your attention on grows, your mind keeps finding more of the same. Gratitude is not denial. It is a deliberate shift of attention. It says, yes, some things are difficult right now, and at the very same time, small good things are still happening. When you make that shift, you are telling the universe, I am available for goodness. I notice it. I appreciate it. I am a safe place for more. Gratitude doesn't magically erase every challenge, but it changes your relationship to those challenges. Instead of feeling like a helpless victim in a hostile world, you begin to feel like a conscious soul, walking through a complex life with eyes that can still see beauty. Even on your worst days, the world is still offering you tiny gifts. A ray of sunlight that falls just right on your floor. The way hot water feels on your skin in the shower. A stranger holding open a door. The relief of taking your shoes off at the end of a long day. The quiet comfort of a pet lying near you. None of these moments solves the big problem, but they remind your nervous system, not everything is danger, not everything is loss. Your inner child needs that reminder, the part of you that has been braced for the next blow, waiting for the next disappointment, needs to feel that there are still safe and gentle sensations available. When you acknowledge one small good thing, you are not invalidating your pain. You are giving your heart a little oxygen so it doesn't suffocate inside the pain. Gratitude says, I see the hurt, and I also see that this is not the whole story. I often say that gratitude is like a breath. You do not take one breath and expect it to last a lifetime. You breathe in and out, many times a day, without needing anyone to clap for you. You don't say, if this breath isn't perfect, I refuse to take it. You just breathe. I would love you to begin treating gratitude in the same way, not as a performance, not as a perfect journal page, but as a gentle rhythm in your day. Tiny moments where you pause and notice, I'm still here, I'm still held. This is why I like the simple practice. Breathe in, thank you. Breathe out, more love. You don't have to mean it 100% all the time. You don't have to feel a burst of ecstasy. Just let the words ride on the breath. Let them wash through the body like a soft tide, again and again, training your nervous system to understand something good can come in. I am not shut down. Try it with me now, wherever you are. Sit as comfortably as you can. You don't need to sit like a statue. Just let your body be supported. Gently close your eyes, if that feels safe, or soften your gaze. As you inhale, whisper inside, thank you. Thank you for this breath. Thank you for this moment of awareness. Thank you that I get another chance to relate to my life differently. As you exhale, whisper inside, more love. More love for my tired body. More love for my confused mind. More love for the parts of my life that don't make sense yet. Again, a slow breath in, thank you. A soft breath out, more love. You are not forcing positivity. You are inviting a new tone. You are telling your subconscious, we are learning to receive. We are learning to soften. You are turning gratitude from an idea into a physical experience. Now, I want to address a very common misunderstanding. People often think gratitude means you must be happy about what hurt you. No, my dear. You never have to be grateful for abuse, or neglect, or cruelty, or injustice. We do not romanticize pain here. What we can do in time is find gratitude for our capacity to heal, for the strength we discovered, for the wisdom that emerged, for the way our heart stayed soft when it could have hardened. That may come later. Right now, it may be enough to say, I am grateful that even after everything, I am still capable of love. Or, I am grateful that I am listening to something that reminds me I have choices. You are not saying the wound was good. You are saying, I choose to nourish what is still alive in me rather than spend the rest of my life feeding the wound. That is a radical, powerful act. That is a change in vibration. Sometimes gratitude looks like the smallest possible step away from bitterness. You might still feel angry, still feel sad, and at the same time you might notice, somebody smiled at me today. Or, I finished a task even though I wanted to stay in bed. Or, I am learning new ways to think. A part of your mind may say, so what? That's nothing. That is just old chatter, the old critical voice that has never learned how to celebrate you. You can gently answer it, no, it's not nothing. It matters that I am trying. It matters that I am noticing. Every time you honor a small good thing, you are watering a different garden. You are choosing not to spend your entire life staring at the weeds. You might say, but Louise, my life is so full of problems. It feels dishonest to be grateful. And I will tell you, gratitude is not lying. It is adding more of the truth. The truth is not only your difficulties. The truth is also that you have resources, that you have survived so much, that you have people who have been kind, that there are objects around you that serve you every day. Think of how many things you are using right now that you did not create. The electricity, the device in your hand, the clothes on your body, the language we are sharing. The world has brought all of this to you. You did not have to invent sunlight or lungs or the ability to heal a cut on your finger. Life has been supporting you in more ways than your mind has counted. Gratitude is when you begin to count a little more of that invisible support. And as you count it, you feel less alone. You feel less like a tiny, isolated self trying to push a boulder up a hill, and more like a participant in a great, mysterious generosity. So I would like to invite you into a very simple daily practice, one that takes only a few seconds, and yet over time, it can change the way your whole nervous system relates to the universe. Once a day, perhaps when you first wake up, or when you sit in your car, or when you lie down at night, give yourself 20 quiet seconds. You don't need a candle. You don't need a notebook. Just 20 seconds of honesty. Ask yourself, what is one thing right now about the person I am becoming that I can be grateful for? Not about your bank account, not about your appearance, but about your growth. Maybe the answer is, I'm grateful that I'm a little more aware of my thoughts. Maybe, I'm grateful that I'm more sensitive to how I talk to myself. Maybe, I'm grateful that I didn't abandon myself today, even though it was hard. And then breathe in, thank you. Breathe out, more love. You are telling life, I see the work that is happening in me. I honor it. I am willing to receive more support for this becoming. Over time, this becomes less of a technique and more of a way of being. You begin to catch yourself in the middle of an ordinary moment thinking, I'm thankful for this cup of coffee, or I'm thankful that I know how to calm myself a little, or I'm thankful I have another chance tomorrow. You start to feel gratitude as a quiet background music in your life, rather than a song you only play on special occasions. And as that happens, your vibration shifts. People feel different around you. Opportunities seem to find you more easily. Not because the universe suddenly decides you are worthy, but because you have opened the door. You have become a place where appreciation lives, and life loves to visit those places. Remember, my dear, you are not practicing gratitude to earn love from the universe. You are practicing gratitude so that you can finally feel the love that has been offered to you all along. Let it be gentle. Let it be small. Let it be like breathing. In, thank you. Out, more love. Again and again, until your whole being begins to understand. I am allowed to receive. I am allowed to notice goodness. I am allowed to live in a world where even on difficult days, something is still worth appreciating. And from that place, the universe has such a beautiful way of saying back to you, yes, beloved, here is more. There is one more code I want to place very gently in your hands, and it is so simple that your old mind may be tempted to say, that can't be enough. It is the code of kindness, not the dramatic, heroic kindness that gets written about in the news, but the quiet, everyday softness you bring to the people who pass you in the hallway, the person who bags your groceries, the security guard who checks your badge, the driver next to you in traffic, the child who is making too much noise, and especially the tender, frightened parts of you when you make a mistake. In the universe, I know, kindness is a kind of currency. The energy you send out is the energy that organizes itself around you. When you choose to meet the world with a soft eye, a warm tone, a genuine thank you, you are not just being nice. You are instructing life about the kind of reality you are willing to live in. You are saying, this is my standard. This is the atmosphere I choose. And life, my dear, is always listening. Think about the last time someone was unexpectedly kind to you. Maybe they let you go first in line, or answered you with patience when they had every right to be short, or smiled in a way that made you feel seen for a moment. It didn't solve all your problems, but it shifted something inside you, didn't it? You felt your shoulders drop a little. Your chest softened. The world felt less hostile, more livable. That is the power you carry every time you walk into a room. When you look at the person serving your coffee and silently bless their day, when you speak to the cleaner, the delivery person, the receptionist as a full, precious human being, you are not losing anything. You are not giving away a limited resource. You are creating a field around you. You are saying to the universe, I understand that we are all connected. I choose to contribute safety rather than fear. The human mind often asks, but what about me? When will it be my turn? And I will tell you gently, every act of genuine kindness is already your turn. You are touching the same field you live in. And then there is the kindness you so often forget. The kindness toward yourself when you fall short of your own expectations. So many of you have learned to talk to yourselves in a way you would never use with a child you loved. One missed habit and the voice goes, see, you're hopeless. One emotional day and you say, what's wrong with you? I want you to begin to notice this, not to judge it, but to notice it. The next time you hear that harsh inner tone, pause for a moment and imagine that you are speaking to a little one, clutching their favorite toy, eyes full of tears. Would you say, you're useless, you'll never change? Or would you say, sweetheart, I know you're tired. I know this is hard. Let's try again tomorrow. I'm still proud of you for trying. This is the shift. This is where kindness becomes an energetic investment rather than a performance. You are not weak when you are gentle with yourself after a mistake. You are building the kind of inner climate where growth is actually possible. In terms of energy, kindness is not about being a doormat or saying yes to everything. Kindness has very healthy boundaries. It can say, no, that doesn't work for me, in a tone that is still respectful, still human. It can walk away from what is harmful without needing to punish or humiliate. When I say kindness is a currency of the universe, I mean that each time you choose to act from love instead of bitterness, from understanding instead of spite, you are depositing a vibration into your future. You may not see the return immediately, but over time, you will notice that the people who stay in your life are the ones who can meet you at that level. You will notice that the situations that drain you begin to fall away, sometimes with a little noise, sometimes quietly. You will notice that when trouble comes, help also comes. A friend, a stranger, an intuition, a door that opens at the last moment. It is not an accident. You have been investing. You have been voting, day after day, for a world where tenderness is allowed. So if your heart is willing, I'd like you to hold this thought with me for a moment. Kindness returns to me multiplied. Kindness returns to me multiplied. Kindness returns to me multiplied. Let it sink deeper than the words. You are not begging the universe. You are stating a law. What I cultivate inside me, what I send through my eyes and my voice and my hands, becomes the soil I will walk on tomorrow. You are not powerless here. You are not just at the mercy of circumstances. With every small, sincere kindness to the cashier, to the tired friend, to the stranger online, to your own heart at midnight, you are quietly rewriting your future. And now, as we come to the end of our time together in this daily vibration code, I want to gather all the threads we have woven. We spoke about excellence in the small things, doing what is in front of you with care, not to impress the world, but to respect your own soul. We spoke about releasing judgment of others and of yourself, so that your energy can open instead of contract. We spoke about turning your words into blessings, so that even when you talk about challenges, you are not cursing your own life. We spoke about becoming a partner with life, setting clear intentions, taking loving action, and then allowing the timing and the form of the result to unfold. We spoke about gratitude as a gentle breath, not a performance, a way of saying, I am still here. I am still willing to see the good. And now we add kindness, the way you move through this world, the softness you choose, even in small moments, especially when no one is watching. All of these together create your daily vibration. They are not rules to make you feel guilty when you forget. They are invitations. They are doorways you can walk through again and again, especially on the days you feel least spiritual, least strong, least deserving. You do not have to get them perfect. You are allowed to be human. You are allowed to forget and remember, forget and remember. What matters is that you keep returning gently to the truth that has always been waiting for you. You do not have to live tight and tense in order to live a good life. You do not have to clench your jaw and hold your breath to prove that you are serious. You are allowed a life that fits your nervous system. You are allowed a life that feels kinder on the inside. You are allowed a life that is more spacious, more breathable, more honest. You are allowed to have a good life that does not destroy you. So if you are hearing my voice right now, I want you to imagine that I am taking your hands in mine, looking right into your beautiful eyes, beyond the weariness, beyond the history, beyond the self-doubt, and I am saying to you, you deserve a life that lets you exhale. You deserve mornings that do not begin with panic. You deserve evenings that do not end in self-hatred. You deserve work that may be challenging, but does not crush your spirit. You deserve relationships where you can be real, where you can laugh and cry and be quiet without fear of losing love. You deserve an inner dialogue that is on your side. And you are allowed to begin creating all of this, not by forcing the world to change first, but by changing the way you meet the world, one thought, one word, one breath, one small act of kindness at a time. Let this be the message you carry into your days. You do not need to live stressed to live well. You do not need to be perfect to be supported. You do not need to beg to be worthy. Life is not your enemy. Life is your partner. When you show up with a loving heart, a willing mind, and a little bit of gentleness for yourself and others, the universe has a way of meeting you halfway and then some. And as you go now into whatever this day holds for you, remember, my dear, you are more powerful than you have been taught. You are more loved than you have believed. And you are safer than your fear would like you to know. Life is listening to you. Life is responding to you. And life is so ready to work with you. Not when you are burned out and broken, but as you learn slowly and sweetly to live in a way that lets you breathe.